hop royalty in the building, man.
Oh, shit, whatever.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
Second generation, man, of hip hop royalty, man. How does that feel, man?
I mean,
carrying that legacy down.
It's really cool, bro. You know, you make me feel even cooler now. Yeah, I said it like that, but that's dope.
Is it a lot of pressure having that last name? Really, first and last, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, that's really my name, so yeah, Suge, and you know, it's nice. Nice we got a, you know, a cool legacy. So yeah, no, it's a blessing, bro.
Yeah.
I'm proud as anybody else who's probably part of their name.
Yeah, man. You know, you got the EDM rap going. You got the clothing brands. You got the show. You know, what are you? Are you a creative? Or are you a hustler? Or are you at the real estate? I mean, what are you? Like, what's the title should I call you? What should I refer to you as?
You know, you can just refer me to as an entrepreneur. You know, I did some real estate. You know, I started out with a TV show, VH1. That's cool. But now I just mostly I work behind the scenes with this licensing, and then I do my merchandise. Okay. So I got it out the mud just like every other successful person. Yeah. You know, just different routes. Yeah,
and you getting it out the mud. I noticing brick by brick, and it feels like you really don't have to. It seems like you could, you know, ride out the coattail, but you literally, you know, Suge Jacob night. It's separate. That's how I look at it.
You know, bro, I really appreciate that, how that sounds, because you making me feel like I make it look easy, and that sounds cool, bro. But it ain't easy out here. I don't think none of us have an easy route. So this is brick by brick is correct though, because you know, at first it was like Suge, you know, they think of my pops, and then you know they think of him probably like some record deal, death row, and then like, you know, maybe hanging a nigga over a balcony or something.
I was about to ask you that.
something crazy, some shit like, you know, big Suge story. But nah, man, I just been putting in the work, bro, and everybody saw that I had my own lane in the real estate world. I started out was rapping, and I was like, you know, that was some cool young dude stuff, because my main dream thing was like to be like a writer. Yeah. But you know, the industry changed, so it ain't that much, you know, bread going around, because everybody got their hands in the pot. Yep. So I don't know. I just thank God for the path that He has me on.
Yeah, man, that's interesting, man. And do you find it, like you say, with that last name and the legacy, do you find that harder? Is it more, you know, opposition? Maybe people who didn't favor your pops or was feared. Do you feel like anybody get in your way or hate on you because of, you know, the legacy?
That's a good question, man. But I don't really think it's like hard or easy or anything like that. It has its benefits. I think it's kind of like anybody's life is kind of similar. So So I don't know. I live my life, and I know that I have my strengths and weaknesses, just like everybody else know what their strengths and weaknesses to move up.
That's good. Yeah. Any allies of your father that made you feel like, you know, this is uncle right here. This is uncle. I know it's crazy in you know, the height of death row, or when it really came about, that's when you was just being born though.
That part is true, bro. So
did you develop any uncles, or, you know?
I mean, yeah, I got developed uncles, but you know, it's been a long time. You know, the death row era is a long time ago, and like, hell, some people was my dad's friends, some of his not his friends anymore. So I don't know. The uncles is like, I don't really know too many of them dudes. You know what I'm feeling me? Exactly. You know, his friendship is different.
Exactly. I believe it. Yeah, because I would think that you automatically got to inherit, you know, whatever problems he had, you would have them, or the good things. But like I said, you did your own thing. You got the overnight.
Yeah, overnight entertainment. I started out as a label, and then, you know, we just moved over. We still a label, but it's more distribution. Okay. Like there's no point becoming a label. Yeah. It's just not economically or financially smart, because you're just competing with the majors like Universal and all that. So ain't nothing in this world handed to you, even if it's you inherited. Like, you gotta I'm not the only child, so I know I couldn't place bets on myself that, okay, my dad's gonna choose me like it's a kingdom or something. It ain't like a kingdom or nothing like that. Nah, this is more like, okay, I got my life, and how my pops operates is he does things on his own, and if you a man, you do things on your own. That's pretty much like how the Knights was raised. Only the girls was kind of like spoiled, and like, all right, baby, you need this, you need that. But like, nah, man, it's just a blessing to be able to. I think I went through every single, you know, journey, and I appreciate the journey. instead of just getting it handed to me.
Exactly. And how long do you think it took you to find your own lane, man? Like you said, you used to rap, you did the VH1 Love and Listens, and you know, now I feel like it's picking up momentum, but in a organic way, I should say.
Exactly. Yeah. So like when I started out with rapping, that was coming out of, you know, college, fun, okay, cool. My main goal is to be a songwriter. So I'm making a lot of songs that what we call reference tracks. It's still popping till today. But it's like it was kind of hard for me to maneuver in the industry because the industry is loyal to whoever's in power or whatever. So maybe them people ain't too fond of my pops or who I am, or they may see me as a threat. So it's just a harder journey. So then when I broke off into the real estate, to the reality shows and doing real estate, that showed me that, you know, okay, I'm doing the behind the scenes, but it's just too. It wasn't for me, you know. And I was around 23 and all that. Now I'm 29. It's like okay, I'm going through different stages of like, okay, I'm in this profession and that profession. Like I'm just experimenting. The best advice I got was to be a sponge, man. And then after that real estate show, man, it got real, man. Like I had to go into my 9-to-5 bag, and man, that's real, bro. Like it was a journey though.
Nobody would admit that. You know that? Nobody would say that?
Nah, but that's because hey man, that's them. But like me, bro, that's really the real hard work. Exactly. And like I don't know why we get to knock those 9-to-5 jobs, but that's how you learn the industry. So once I got into an industry of like, okay, t-shirt merchandise. I was working for a company that did all the major t-shirts, you know, concerts and all that. From there, I started at the bottom, but the best advice I got from my boss was like, you know, Suge, you gotta be talk to everybody, learn every position, try to learn everything. Be a sponge. And I did that, and I just kept progressing. Next thing you know, I'm having like lunch with this, you know, supervisor. The next thing you know, I'm having lunch with the CEO. And he's like, hey man, you know, he's familiar with me. And then I'm learning different people. Then I got to my, you know, I'm in different sections. I got to the licensing department. I'm like, yo, this is where I want to be at. This is where people are negotiating the brand or whoever, the band or the artist, to how to get some money for the intellectual property. Called the IPs.
Definitely. Man, that's so. Do you think that's your passion right now, or I guess just right now, because you don't do everything, huh?
Nah, I'm not doing that. It's definitely something that's consistent for me, and it's a blessing. You know, like that I was able to make it work for me, and I think that's the part of the journey. But like, man, you gotta it ain't no linear straight line. Like you gotta go through ups and downs to things, and as long as it don't break you, you keep going, you're gonna be straight. That's for anybody. So like learning that department and all that, learning how things move, how the logistics, because I started out just the logistics person. And I'm like, okay, I'm calling other departments. I'm not even the middleman, I'm the bottom. Then I became the middleman, then I would start working over like shadowing the people, the big bosses of the IPs and all that. So you can't, it ain't no shortcuts to be a boss or be anything, you know, to be successful.
That's
real. You really gotta go through them trials and tribulations.
That's real. And like with some of the stuff that you put out this year on the music side, now I wouldn't really call that rap, but I noticed that. Is it Afrobeats or what genre is this? Nah, man,
the genre is dance, bro. You know, it ain't something that somebody would think of quick, like, oh, Suge Knight's son, you know, coming from Death Row gangster rap to into like, you know, EDM techno dance, you know, house music. It's like I get it. It was just something that I was kind of vibing with. I think over the years I was a huge rap, hip hop, drill music gangster, like 06 Gucci Man. You know what I'm saying? It was just, you know, Dolph, real nigga music. But like for a long time, I was like, I don't know, that music is just not hitting for me right now. They took too many of our greats. A lot of dudes, you know, it just wasn't progressing me, and it was always putting me in a mind state of like being angry, or I gotta be super aggressive to get things what I want. I don't know, it was low key a negative. Like I like the music, so I kind of switched over to some happier music. And that upbeat, you know, Afrobeats is even upbeat too. It's happier music. So Plus, I got kids, man. I can't be listen to all.
Yeah, I feel you.
Sexy Red and Dope Man and all that. My daughters, man. Nah, like we gonna bump this Justin Bieber real quick and just see what's up.
I feel that. It seems kind of like that's a popular thing too out here in LA. Is the like the electronic dance music, dance house
vibe. All the clubs, bro.
Yeah, and that's weird. You know, being where I'm from in the South, that's not a thing yet.
It's not a thing. Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah. See, the South, you guys have a different like. Because my fam from the South, Mississippi and all that, and I went to school in Nashville. Yeah. It's a different like culture or like how people operate in the South. Yeah. Like in LA, we segregated. You know, we don't got HBCUs. We don't, you know, and not in college is expensive. We already paying high rent and high mortgage rates. So it's like we came from the Black Panthers to gangbanging. So that's what we like. We got different sections, a lot of segregation. Yeah. Compared to what I saw in the South, it's more like a brotherhood. Yeah. You guys are more people are more prideful. Yeah. And that's changing over in LA too. It's just, you know. Yeah. It's still segregated. We what was it, classism, little region place. Yeah. Real materialistic, you know.
Yes. And it's just dope that, you know, to see that a genre like that is spreading, you know, amongst our community, the black people, and something like that. Like I say, I don't know if that'll ever catch on where I'm at, but Afrobeats and other genres have spread and got wide in the last few years.
Check out, you probably heard him before, but he did like a remix with like Shaka Khan and all that. I think his name is Austin Mills. Okay. He does like a lot of the whole like oldies. Yeah. And he like does his remix. Okay. Or he got a dude named Kygo. He did a Marvin Gaye Sexual Healing remix. Man. And that kind of shit, like, you know, you say it right now, like it may not be the vibe, but bro, you got a couple drinks, you got a baddie in the car. Yeah. You got 10 baddies in the car, bro, and you throw that, you know, upbeat music, positive, you know, it's a club feel. Yeah. Not like the house, like you about to start voguing, not that kind of party. Like I get it, and that ain't my kind of party. Yeah. But like, you know, just a vibe. And they gonna go with it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's dope to see, man. Just LA different, man. How do you feel about, you know, these mass deportations that's been going on, man?
It's something that we need to fix, you know. Yeah. The mass deportation thing is I don't agree with how they do it, running up on people's families and running up on people just in the general. They could do it in a much better way. Yeah, definitely. You know, and make it a better streamline for people to become a citizen. Definitely, you know, definitely. I'm not against. You know, I'm in it because it's a fine line. You know, we still gotta protect America. Yeah. But at the same time, we shouldn't treat people who want to be here terrible. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? So it's just. It's not a simple thing where it's like a simple switch. It's a lot of money involved. It's a lot of people doing the right thing. Yeah, it's hard for us, to pinpoint. Yeah, definitely.
I feel that. Yeah, I mean and I think the relationship that again, you know, the LA Texas thing is always, you know, we always, I ain't gonna say rivals, but it's a lot of similarities that make us unique. Like Mexicans, we got a lot of Mexicans in Texas, but our relationship with Mexicans, blacks and Mexicans are different, I believe, than y'all have here. Like, y'all not as close to Mexicans, blacks here, right?
It depends, man, on certain regions. Yeah, I can't say for that. I got a Mexican wife, so I got some mixed kids. Yeah, but like I seen the difference in different times. Yeah, like different age groups of people. The more you go back in time, like say our grandparents, my grandparents, you ask any old black folk in LA, make some tacos. They're gonna be like, what? I can't make no tacos. But the black people from the 90s, we know how to make, our tacos and all that type of stuff. So we came together later on in the year. Yeah. Some people from the olden times, whatever, olden days, it just they have a mentality that's different.
Yeah, that's how I go. That's definitely how I go.
And like the last, bro, it's social. What is it like? It's like systemic, not oppression, but it's built that way to make certain races not get along and make it seem like it's not enough resources. Exactly. So it's just either you are a leader by doing the right thing and understanding that everybody's equal, or you just a follower that wants to keep your own bias, and believe in your own bias.
Definitely. Yeah, that make a lot of sense, man. Yeah, that's dope being, raised in the hip hop culture and hip hop royalty and being in this historic place, man. What's some of your favorite artists of all time? Let's say L.A.
L.A. I know they gonna get on my head talking about he not from L.A., but off top Pac for sure. Yeah, because he's definitely a West Coast icon.
You gotta give it to him.
Ice Cube for sure. And that's it for the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to turn into a whole 90s is the greatest thing ever. 90s is not the greatest thing ever, but I'll put out some hard people. Yeah. Exactly. After that, from the West Coast, you said?
We could go West Coast.
Okay, because I'm like, all right, but just all time?
Yeah, all time.
All time? Okay, so you got Pop, you got Ice Cube. The third one I'm about to give is 50 Cent. I think 50 Cent is a nice contender in there.
From the West Coast?
Not from the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying all time rap.
All time. Okay.
Like he got some dope projects.
Yeah, we got.
I'll give it to 50.
That's different.
Yeah, I know you probably wouldn't expect me to say that shit.
Nah, top five or anything.
Nah. But like, I give it to him. I give it. He got some heat. And then you got to go to Kanye West.
Got to.
I don't want to. He may be a terrible person. He may have terrible views, but that boy is talented. That man talented.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Nigga, hallelujah. Y'all know what type of day, but and like after that, I'm gonna go with for like the newer generation. I'm gonna have to go with that boy died too young, but the XX-Tentacion dude was dope. He was really dope.
Legendary.
I gave it to him, and I don't know, man. And I'll throw Nipsey in there for his impact. Yeah, I'll throw Nipsey in there.
Definitely.
And I don't know, I'm gonna just keep it at that for right now. I'll just keep it at that.
That's a pretty good list, man. I ain't mad.
For West Coast though, my generation different, so I'll say RJ, Mr. LA. I'll give Draco the Ruler. He's a dope dude.
Big one.
He's solid. Another West Coast dude. I'll give Don Kennedy.
That's big.
I like Don Kennedy.
That's big.
He's definitely a impactful person in the West. Yeah. Like he definitely created a style and a cult. So I was a part of that.
That's nice. Not commercial either.
Nah. You got LA got some hit, like some stars though.
Yeah.
You got this rapper not too many people know of, but his name they call him Scheme. He's from Inglewood. He's a dope writer. He's dope.
That's dope.
And I'll say the last one. Top LA. Last one for this 5. I'm gonna just end it off with Kendrick. Wow, I'm tripping. Damn, I'm like, hold on. It took me a minute.
I was wondering, did I want to bring it up, but I wasn't.
No. I was tripping. I'm like, I'm missing somebody, bro. Nah, that TDE era, that TDE squad is hard.
Oh yeah,
TDE
definitely.
squad is hard. From Schoolboy to Kendrick to Absol, all them dudes is dope.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, TDE was low key another. I don't want to compare him to Death Row, but there was another powerhouse.
Indy too, yeah.
Indy,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, probably the first one since Death Row really to make that much noise. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Other than, you can't throw out. I'm not a fan of their music, but they have the accolades, so we don't know if the numbers is real or not. But you got to throw in, I guess, would it be Aftermath or Dr. Dre and all that? Yeah. You got to give it to them. You gotta give it to them.
Yeah.
The dude found Eminem.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Like I say, niggas in Idaho slapping Eminem. Nebraska slapping him.
Yeah, and it kind of has something to do with 50 if you put it back.
That's what I'm saying.
That whole thing. Yeah.
So it is what it is. But I'll end it with that. I'll end it with this though. If it wasn't for Suge Knight, there will be no 50 Cent, no Aftermath, or Dre.
That's real.
So at the end of the day, if these dudes could all just squash their beef and make some things happen, I think that would be dope.
Man,
but we don't.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm not looking forward to it because they already old as hell, so they need to pass the torch to the new dudes anyway. So
yeah,
they had their opportunity.
Yeah, man, and that Death Row family, man. I know I know Big Suge, he not too proud about it, what happened with the selling of it, you know. Is that just an emotional thing? Does that feel like betrayal? Does that feel like business as usual? How do you look at it, you know, as an entrepreneur, as a hustler? Does that just feel like backstabbing to you, or do that feel like, man, it's just a hustle?
I see my experiences. I have my experience with, like, as a child, seeing that and being affected by it. But since he's still alive and most of them are still alive, it's something that they either got to figure out. I don't know, man. Like,
yeah,
he has a whole bunch of feelings. I don't think anybody will feel good about losing their company.
Definitely.
But you know, everything comes with a price with the choice you make, and
definitely.
And after that point, it's too late to kind of go back and cry or spill milk. It's just a good thing that you had an impactful role in history, and people still live off of today. So it's a great thing. It's nothing to be mad about, other than just thank God that you're still here and you have an opportunity to get out of prison, which is pretty soon. So.
Yeah, been about what, maybe a decade now.
Maybe even sooner than that. So yeah, that'll be the maximum. But yeah.
But it's already been about 10, right?
It's almost like about 13, 14.
Oh man, even more than that.
So more than that. It's even about a decade. He got some. It ain't too far.
Oh yeah, that's real good. Yeah, a lot of people like to write them off, but with your pops being considered the boogeyman of hip hop, you come with such a positive image. It's like almost intentional. Is it just intentional for you to spread that positivity because of who your pops is, or what is the reason for you to spread these positive and motivational messages?
It's how God made me, bro.
Yeah,
that's how I am. That's who I am. Yeah. It worked for him to be the boogeyman. Yeah. I don't necessarily call him the boogeyman, but he likes it. That's who he is. Yeah. That works for him. Yeah. And what works for me is being me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. My pops like to live off having people fearing him.
Yeah.
And me, I just like to have people that love me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't mean that people that fear you won't turn on you, and people that love you won't betray you either. It's just we just have two different men.
Different philosophy. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, he definitely instilled a lot of that knowledge and wisdom that you have for, you know, the industry and just, I guess, the way you move in general, huh?
I mean, you had to though. Yeah. He come from the era where they doing physical copy sales and like album sales. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you come out here, it streams, everybody in the 360 deal.
Yeah, you're right.
It ain't no record labels. It's everybody in management group.
Yeah.
So it ain't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They investigating Live Nation. If they gonna be if they monopolizing the industry because they got merch, concerts.
Yeah, that's true.
Venues, all that.
I didn't even think about that.
It's a different beast.
Yep. And now some, you know, like I say, all this time has passed, and you know, it was a Death Row Bad Boy thing going on back then. Of course, that was way before your time. You know, you was a baby, but now we got this current era. No Diddy, but you got Diddy going through this. Did you ever have a relationship with King Combs, or was it Pac?
I wouldn't say
automatically.
No, I wouldn't say Op. They do. Them dudes are just different. They was on a different side of town.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say ops.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was ever even beef between my pops and Diddy. It was more like a rivalry.
Yeah.
If anything, but my pops was a Karen. He was just petty.
Yeah, definitely.
But like Diddy was the one that was leaving freak offs to go kill Suge. That's diabolical. You in some coochie, you about to jump out like, hold on, I gotta get this nigga. Like what? Something was absolutely not clicking.
Yeah, diabolical.
Take that. Hold on. What? Let me go. I'll be right back. At the same time though, Diddy was a very hard working overachiever.
Yeah. He had to have a lot of time.
He was having hella threesomes, 18-hour threesomes, selling music catalogs, alcohol, running businesses. Man. He was just doing it all, bro. Like that ain't no regular 9-to-5 dude, bro. That dude is waking up motivated. Just in a sick way.
Yeah, weird way. Yeah, dang, when did he sleep?
Like he didn't sleep, bro. He was just take that. Yeah, go hard, love, baby oil. Nigga keeping baby oil on the map, bro.
Man, that's funny. Yeah, he need his own baby.
Like, you can talk about Diddy all you want. I would talk about him too, but it's like, dude, like, you know, some dudes was they be tired after they 9-to-5 job. Like, all right, bro, I just put in 8 hours. I'm it. Diddy going 18 hours, threesomes, bro, and still doing all of that, bro. Like
crazy.
That's kind of, you know.
Can't stop, won't stop.
He didn't stop, bro.
Yeah. And that's big crazy. So yeah, that's not no op. But what about Ray J though? What's the deal with that?
Ray J not an op either. He just
Y'all gonna throw in the gloves?
I've been called him out. He got to get off drugs, bro. So he get off drugs, then we'll do the whole fight if it's worth it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, him and Whack 100, you know, they whole love triangle, all them dudes. I wish them the brothers the best, bro. It ain't no beef with Ray J.
Yeah.
Ray J is trying to, he does what like a lot of falling off entertainers do.
Yeah.
Do shock value. And it worked for him when he was young. Yeah. But now he old. And it's like, bro, you can't be doing that. You gotta pass the torch. Like, the streamers are not even doing the stuff that Ray is doing.
You're right.
It's a different kind of world. We all got morals now. We're not on drugs. And I'm saying like everybody on drugs, but it's like people ain't even smoking hella weed no more like that. Like, stay away from drugs.
Yeah, and that's a big positive message I hear you always spreading, man.
That is, bro. Just, you know, you just drink some water, go work out, do something, pray. Yeah. That's what a lot of people missing. They missing some type of religion and discipline in their life.
Yeah, so definitely.
When they got that and they don't got no wife.
Yeah.
I got a wife, bro. I'm straight really connected with God. I pray every night with my kids. Yeah. I eat healthy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't look for bullshit. Yeah. And like on the real, God will always set things up for you to win. Yeah. He will never have you sell yourself out short or exploit yourself or put yourself in any type of danger for you to make it. That ain't God. Man. So we can't make no deals with the devil.
Yeah. So we know that it's not godly if it's something that got you selling yourself short.
Nah, that's why I called it off. I was like, Ray J didn't bully me. And like
yeah.
You know, like that, bro. It's just more like, once I called Ray J out, I started getting all them people from the Shade Room and all these blogs. Yeah. It just felt like an evil spirit would just come into my Instagram page and be like, what he on? What is he up to? And I'm like, nah, I can't even look at my phone right now. Man. I can't believe Butterbutt didn't try to put me in some mess, bro. I fell for the bait.
Yeah, it's all clicks these days, man. So yeah, it is good that you can observe that and have that positive image, man. I like that that's being spread, because it's really nobody, you know, who do we look to put that message out there? And that's not really forcing it, just being themselves, you know what I mean?
Well, the real talk, bro, that's true, bro, but like, you know, it has to be a choice by the person. Yeah. We could preach, you know, read your Bible or live right. That's why God gave you free will. It's up to you to make that choice to do that. And once you make that choice, you know exactly what everybody else who's living godly talking about. Yeah. Because they got the power within them.
And what was the defining moment for you to switch and the light bulb went off for you to, you know, have these type of thoughts?
Shoot, losing shit. I'll tell you, I was smoking too much, indulging in the wrong things, trying to I guess clout chase, you would call it, whatever. Trying to just scramble, and then I wasn't in the right mindset to the point where I found myself in a cell. Beat somebody up, and it's like, oh man, I can't believe I did this, and then I almost lost everything. Man, it was so much money to stay out of jail and all of that. So I don't really promote that. I don't think that is anything to be proud of. So once I hit that, once I hit that little rock bottom, like, yo, Suge, you better wake up, bro, or you gonna. We can't have two Suges in jail. That ain't gonna work. So once I had that moment, I changed my life, man.
Yeah. That's neat, man, because that's not what nobody expect from you, and I think probably they want to see you crash out and, you know, see you do the opposite of what you are right now.
It's people that want to see me win. It's people that want to see me crash out. Yeah, it's all a balance. Yeah, as long as I want to see myself win, it's gonna work. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's all about choices.
Yeah, definitely.
Accountability and choices.
Yeah, man. Sure. When the last time you talked to Pac? Y'all been talking recently?
Pac, like Tupac?
Yeah, Tupac.
Man, I was just off the phone with that nigga yesterday, bro. Nah.
You know, you can't say nothing about Pac, man. You gonna go viral.
I'm gonna piss people off. Like, leave his family alone. Bro, speaking of Pac, look, for one, Pac is dead. Like, I'm not the one putting that out there. I think he is. If not, we can set up a show to go look for him.
He not in Malaysia?
Bro, you never know. I don't think so though. I had somebody call me from Malaysia like, Mr. Knight, you know, there's no black people in Malaysia. There's nobody here. I saw that he's in the Bantu caves. He's nobody here. I promise you. So I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
But speaking of Pac, bro, look, what I'm doing, I'm killing it in the merch game, right? So I'm like making my Suge Knight clothing. Mm-hmm. I messed up. So my graphic designers, they made a Tupac shirt. Mm-hmm. So like, and then somebody from the store uploaded it on the website, you know, on the clothing store. Yeah. And then the very next day, bro, it wasn't even been 24 hours. Universal Music Group reached out to me. They sent me a cease and desist, like, hey, Suge, we need to see your records of all this. I'm like, for one, I'm actually proud. Like, damn, nigga, we on the radar. Nigga, like, for sure. Like, it didn't less than 24 hours. They said, hey, what's going on?
That's big. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so sorry. I respect IP, you know, intellect. You know, I respect doing things the right way. So we took that down. And then, yeah, that was just like a whole different, I don't know, I feel like an accomplishment, but a scary warning too. Because I don't want to be, you know, get in trouble for using something without any permission.
Man, so they own the likeness. They own Pac face.
Yeah, bro.
Suge face. I mean, Suge pictures too.
No. Okay. See, the pictures are different. Pictures are owned by the person who took the photo.
Oh, okay.
So that's a whole different thing. Now you have the likeness of someone; they have a say, but whoever took the photo, that's who owns the picture.
Yeah.
Like the dude Robin Thicke, he just recently got sued because he posted a picture of himself that a photographer took.
Wow.
Well, he was like a red carpet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's definitely different, man. But the clothing, I guess the clothing game, it'll take a lot of your time, even though you do a lot of other stuff.
Bruh, it take most of my time.
Yeah.
My routine is pretty simple.
Yeah.
My clothing, my business, my kids' schedule.
Yeah.
And shit, my kids' schedule is a lot of it. You know,
definitely.
I am put myself, my wife into what we're gonna do. She runs she's a florist.
Yeah.
So I help her with her stuff and all that, and everything else. We just build little by little, or big by big, however you want to put it.
I've asked a couple of people this on my show before, but what's the key to having a successful, happy relationship, man?
Accountability and honesty, and finding somebody that's on the same page as you.
Yeah.
Now, I said accountability, so it's like as a man, you just know how to keep the foundation strong.
Yeah.
You know, you gonna
no woman gonna be accountable. But anyway,
no, thank you, bro. You know, no woman gonna be accountable, bro. 100 women. They talking about 100 men versus a gorilla, bro. We do 1 million women versus accountability, bro. Accountability gonna win, bro.
Real talk.
And that is what it is. So women, you know, they don't take accountability, and men, we take a little longer to mature. I understand. That's even. That's fair.
Good trade. Yeah.
I'll trade that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to a healthy relationship, man, is finding that person that's your person.
Yeah.
Stop chasing that chick that don't hit you back, or that only want to hit you up for to take her out a 5-star restaurant on the first date.
That's free.
That's not the one, bro.
Yeah.
Because all the girls that like you, she'd be like, you can go to a picnic, I still love you.
Yeah. Amen.
Hey, bro. When I had lint in my pocket, bro, I talked to the chicks that liked me, bro.
Yeah.
And then, you know, sometimes when you get that paper, you start feeling yourself too much. You start going to chicks that don't like you. They be like, nah, I need a 5-star restaurant dinner date, and you need to fly me out tonight for me to talk to you. You like, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I know you don't like me. You trying to make your boyfriend mad. I've been on that side.
Try to post some IG pics.
Trying to hurt somebody. Man, you need to grow up too, girl.
That's all it is. I definitely try to soak in the game from whoever I can. But yeah, it definitely seems we in that culture of women who, you know, kind of just got their hands out a little bit. But that's good to see anybody find true love. I love seeing that.
It's out there, bro. You gotta first love yourself, then you know what kind of love is right for you. That's the only advice I can give.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
People, if you don't love yourself, you have an idea what you think love is, then you're gonna probably find love in the wrong places.
Definitely. Yep. And just on your your day to day, man, are you listening to any Death Row classics, or is it any of the old stuff you jam on the regular?
I would throw like on some older pop, like Better Days or some shit like that, just to start, you know, some cool stuff. A friend, or Never Had a Friend Like Me.
Yeah.
If I'm in an old '90s rap mood, but nah, man, my day to day, I start my day off in the morning with like it's called like Afrobeat. It'll be like an Afrobeat morning playlist, whatever, upbeat, getting things up, cleaning and all that. If I'm Sunday cleaning, I grew up in a black household, so I'm listening to oldies in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll let my kids know that's the time we cleaning up. When you hear some oldies too, we mopping.
That's that feel good.
That's music. That feel good music.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I like to feel good, so I like to listen to feel good music. And then shit, you know, I like R&B. So R&B is where it's at. You know, you got a cool R&B playlist. You know how to.
Oh yeah.
Be smooth.
That's gonna be a vibe for sure.
And then, you know, I'll throw in some, you know, Young Dolph.
Yeah.
Smoke Campchino.
Got a little bit of everything.
Everything in there, man.
And you know, and overnight, I mean, are you gonna end up, you know, we say it's distribution, not a label now, but are you gonna end up having artists on the label, or how would you plan on doing
I'm branching off to do that. I'm branching off. It's just when I'm so heavy into the clothing thing, it's hard to jump into the music because it's hard to deal with, to tell an artist or like tell them what to do, because we in the independent era.
Definitely.
So unless I got like some money to burn and time to waste, it's not even about money. It's just like time and invest into that. Then I'll go into it. But other than that, man, it's like, dude, you can blow yourself up, bro. Why you really? I be asking dudes like, why are you coming to me, bro? Why are you trying to come? Why do you need a manager? You haven't a hit song yet. You don't need nobody to manage nothing,
man,
bro.
I've said this a million times.
You just off top just giving people your percentage of your hard work for nothing.
Literally.
And like, bro, you don't need a music video. You just need 15 seconds of a viral song.
Man.
You got that girl, she was a fairy. Yup.
Huge
just
song.
Just off that, what I said, people know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what you need to go for in your song. You need to find a 15-second hit, because it's not radio no more. Before you get on the radio, you got to be viral on Instagram or TikTok. So find a way to how to be viral. Boom, hit that market.
Man. And
you don't gotta rap. You can make kid songs. Taylor Swift is the baddest musician, bro. And I'm not talking like she bad, like she look good. But she definitely will she make Drake. Even Drake said that he pushed his album release date because of Taylor Swift. My 2-year-old knows Shake It Off.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's like, bruh, and she owns all the rights to her music.
Man.
That's a different kind of beast.
You gotta find a way. But it sounds like you actually know, you know, the music industry and the climate of today. It's not the same formula as your Pops era.
Nah, my Pops era, they was old school with it. So you needed a strong arm person to be like, you don't put this. If you don't run that bread and do what's right, I'm gonna make it right. But head ass, okay, sure. Don't get me wrong, you still got people doing like strong arm and shit, but it's like, it's so many cameras, it's so many ways for you to go to jail that people ain't taking those type of risks. So the only thing that's been kind of going around in the industry is abuse. That's why everybody be a victim. They some type of form of abuse. And there's no professionalism in like the offices or whatever is going on, because everybody is abusing their power.
Definitely. I can see that. But just having that music mind, man, it'll be smart to. You got enough knowledge to know if you want to do it or not do it, or
like
or when to get in and when to get out.
It's like that music shit ain't like, that's a young person's sport. And then the older people, they not even listening to that shit. They just like they got them data people. Hey, what the data say? How many streams he getting?
Exactly.
All right, cool. Run that shit.
Right.
Put money behind that.
It ain't about the talent, the way it makes you feel, nothing.
Hell no. When I said Tupac was alive, I said it because my TV show, we had only 2 superstars. I wasn't consider myself a superstar. But like, we only had 2 famous people on the show, on the real estate show. It was me, as everybody know me as Jacob Knight. And Suge, so I'm Suge Knight's son, Jacob Knight. And then you have the NFL football player Zach Dials. And then we had celebrity guest appearances. those celebrity guest appearances were just people that we had to pull. So I had to pull, like, I had to request, like, okay, let me get the LA rappers. Let me get RJ Mr. LA. Yeah. I did put a request for Draco, but he was in jail. Yeah. Influencers, I got Fat Boy on there. Fat Boy SSC, shout out to him. And just a few other people that was popping during that era. But like, bruh, that you had to, like, when we compared us to, they compared us to Love and Hip Hop. Yeah. Bruh.
Man, that's big.
It wasn't fair though. Yeah. It wasn't fair. So we come on right after the show called Girls Trip. Mm-hmm. We both on our first season. Girls Trip, they didn't even fucking come for another season. They had a whole lineup of like influencers. That's mainly kind of like A-listers. Yeah. Bro, I had to say Tupac was alive. Nah, I had to. I did it. Because I'm like, all right, let me go ahead. And we in the era of social media. I shocked the world. Bro, I made our budget go from a couple 100,000 to a couple million. Man. Next thing you know, I'm coming in there. Next thing I come in there, they're like, hey, how's it going, Suge? Hey, do you have his makeup? Do you have his water? Please get him there. Here, wait, he got us a season 2. Yeah, how's it going? Man. And it's like, bro, like, yeah, you know,
that's how it is.
And that's when I realized, like, okay, exploiting yourself to a certain way, that ain't my kind of lifestyle that I want to live. Yeah. But I see how people can play the game. Yeah. And shit, Ray J was on the same wave of that shit. He came out, he saw that Love and Hip Hop was going away, and he like, all right, I own the Suge Knight rights and all that, the life rights to his move. Yeah. And I had to be like, you know what? That caused some drama between, you know, some couple cast members because that was his friend. At that time, I was very young, so I didn't know how to play chess. I was kind of I took it personal to when people were like in friends with people you don't like. Yeah. And like when you in LA, you got to learn how to like separate business and your personal feelings sometimes. Yeah. When you want to get things done. Now, I'm not saying to go out and do business with people who don't like you. Yeah. But I'm saying if like you have a friend and then you have another friend and they don't like somebody because some reason, don't put yourself involved in that. Yeah. Just handle your business, or, you know, respect whatever it is. And just don't veer off from what you want to get accomplished. Yeah. That's actually common in a lot of areas. Yeah, that's how I gotta maneuver in the industry. Yeah, a lot of dudes didn't like my pops, or they had something to say. You know, I'm like, okay, look, bro, if you gotta go to that party, and you know, and I'm not the kind of person to go to that party, don't stop your opportunity, bro. Go do what you gotta do. I understand how the industry is. Yeah. At the same time, I'll still go and just, it ain't a beef with me. But you just gotta pick and choose. You gotta read the room, how to know how to play it. Yeah. And see if it's even worth it. Yeah, and you really beat the odds by, you know, just looking at your perceived enemies or his image. You know, there's a lot of people talk, but nobody come out publicly and say, hey, I'm his op, you know. Yeah, nah, it don't work like that. Hell no. You gotta, it's just a lot of chatter, you know. Bruh. Shit, the ops will smile with you, handshake you, and next thing you know, they go into another room and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You think we friends. Yeah, that's crazy how it goes. So yeah, but I guess, you know, the actions speak louder than words, man. If, you know, you've been standing alone all this time, you done built your brand on your own, you know, you done stood alone and did it. So I appreciate you recognizing that, bro. Yeah, I mean, it shows, man, and it shows. And like I say, with you interacting with me and you done been on live before, you know, you taking callers from, you know, far and wide, man. I watch you interact with people, not seeming too Hollywood, not to be cliche while we over here. Yeah, I feel that. But, you know, actually building brand from brand, like, I mean, brick by brick, a brand as if, you know, your father isn't who he is, you know? Yeah, man. Brick by brick. Yeah. Because Suge Knight is a brand. Suge Knight I created a brand. Yeah. I'm aware that was my father's stage name. Yeah. Because his real name is Marion Hugh Knight. Yeah. So it's like, when I took on my name, I had the idea was just making it a brand. Yeah. So instead of just something like this, West Coast boogeyman myth, that's really negative, that's a negative connotation, I made it something positive. Definitely. So it's just what it is. Yeah. Yep. So and I feel like it probably messed people heads up, but then it's a whole new generation that don't know anything about that. Yeah, bro. So they'll go on TikTok and just, you know, I gotta clean that up.
Yeah.
I gotta clean that up.
Yeah.
And like, bro, just go through it.
Yeah.
If I can go through it and make it, I mean, anybody can go through and make it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you ain't doing nothing that's gonna harm somebody, harm yourself, exploit yourself to a point where you gonna regret it. Anything that ain't godly, just pray about it. Even if you an atheist, believe.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, just have some faith. I believe in God, and I know that He will not put me in a situation where I will have to regret or be in some type of danger or do a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Only the devil do deals where you got to make a deal with the devil type shit.
Definitely. Yeah. And a lot of this wisdom, I mean, did you get a lot of this in a household by your father? You know, some of the structure and your discipline. What's some things you think you didn't got from him?
I got, to be honest, bro, I didn't really live with him like that. So my wisdom is all from experience.
Yeah.
I had a solid, relationship with my dad. I lived with him a few times.
Yeah.
But like, it all goes back to like, I give credit to my mom. She raised me. She was one of those mothers that didn't raise me to hate my father or nothing like that. It was always respectful. Mm-hmm. And then I had to, thanks to God, I always had the wisdom to understand both sides and both perspectives of my parents.
That's neat.
When I became a father, I understood my father even more. And when I became an adult and I had, my kid, I understood what my mother went through when she was probably a single parent and all that. So, like, I think it was just more of just being more accepting of like my life, and then just being aware, because that's what the new generation and the ones before and the ones after me, there's no excuse. You got the internet, you got AI, you got all the answers. Ain't no way for you to make no mistakes.
Definitely.
You had the people you had the crack epidemic, you had the COVID people, you got all these eras. There's no reason for you to make mistakes.
Yeah, that's true. And I know the perception that you had to, beat and come, and it's like you want to transform that whole image for the name. It appears.
I'm just embracing who I am, fam. You know what I'm saying? I embrace the ups and downs.
Yeah.
It ain't. That's why I can't compare myself. I don't think anybody should compare their life or anything like that. They can be inspired. There ain't nothing wrong to be inspired. Yeah. But just stay focused on who you are. So, and do everything with pride. Yeah. When I went into them 9-to-5 jobs, after my real estate show, I was like, I felt defeated. Yeah. I felt like, damn, bro, what's life? What's this? Yeah. I lost everything. I feel embarrassed. Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm like, I own that shit, and I became a way better person. Man. It was people in the office like, hey, I remember you on that TV show, and I remember you on that. And then next thing you know, I'm like, they're like, you're really humble. And then I had to learn that I don't want to be humble. I'd rather be grounded. Yeah. I'm really grounded. Yeah. So I'm like, you just gotta embrace the journey. Yeah. And once you can embrace the journey, you will know how to make the right decisions. Because if you make the good decisions, you will have a good life. Yeah. If you make bad decisions, you ain't gonna have a good life.
Yeah. And what have been your reactions? Seeing some of the headlines, even seeing what might have got your pops incarcerated. I mean, it's actually on the internet. It sucks, but it was actually recorded. But what do you feel about stuff like that? Everything documented.
It's not that bad. Because in my perspective, like being a known person or a celebrity kind of person, you have a tougher skin than people who may be their first time getting online or seeing the world, see a perspective of what's on the news or whatever. Yeah. So I don't really look into it.
You dealt with that your whole life, huh?
So my whole life, I had people always feeling like I had an advantage. Yeah. Or you don't understand, or you think you something, you think you this, you that, when it's really that's just how they feel, and they project it onto me. Yeah. So wherever the world put out, they could say Suge Knight's the boogeyman. Yeah. Or Suge Knight was doing something wrong to people. Yeah. I still, at the end of the day, I still gotta love my father, and I'm a real believer in my Bible and God. I still respect my father. Yeah. My father could come out of jail and be like, I don't appreciate Lil Suge speaking on me. Fuck Lil Suge. Yeah. I won't be like fuck my dad. I'll just be like, you know what, Pops? I probably understand where you coming from. You was probably in jail. You probably pissed off. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. Yeah. I'm still Suge J Knight, and I love you too. And I like God, and God forgive me for I'm not going against my father, but that's how I keep it, and that's how I am.
That's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big, man. Yeah, a lot of maturity, a lot of grown man knowledge, man. A lot of experience shaping the second generation of hip hop royalty, man, who's building his own brand, man.
Yeah, bro. Believe in yourself. Thank you, Brody. I appreciate that.
Anything you got to shout out or let the people know before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Suge Knight Clothing. That Suge-Knight.com. That's the clothing brand. We got some new drops coming out. Got God's Night coming out. Shout out to Khalil. If you're in LA, you want the best barber. If somebody cut you up, go to Khalil. For real. Shout out to all my peoples out there. Shout out to my church. I ain't gonna put my church out there, but yeah, shout out to my church. Shout out to my group. Shout out to my wife and kids. Sunset Luna, I love you very much. And just keep working hard out there. If you working that 9-to-5 job and you got goals, remember this, that Diddy was doing 18-hour threesomes and still running all them companies, so you can't get tired. You gotta keep going. You can't stop, won't stop. Take that. So whatever job you was working at, man, just work that job and don't be ashamed of it. Just be prideful who you are and just keep praying and then keep making good decisions and don't not rush yourself. Because any good business, the more money you make or the higher you go in life, it's all about the decisions you make and how disciplined you are. You will be surprised how many executives and powerful people really have a crazy routine where they got to stick with it. Compared to somebody who always complaining and all they do is smoke and complain and ask people for money. Man. Now off tops, we know who we talking about. So don't be that person. And that's what it is.
Yep. Well, sure, you heard it here first, man. Suge J. Knight on the driver's seat, a classic.
And believe in ownership.